today we will discuss one of the most important component, which is the multimeter. What is this multimeter? A multimeter is a device used to measure multiple parameters of an electric circuit. What parameters we can measure using the multimeter? We can measure the voltage, we can measure the current and resistance. Through this device, we can measure the various parameters of the electric circuit, and the device is made up of a digital or analog meter, batteries, resistors and the other circuitry, which measures the measurement of several electrical quantities with very high accuracy and speed. You are seeing on the screen that this is a multimeter, and you are seeing it is a digital multimeter, where we are having a knob and at the upper side we have a digits. You have seen the 599 digit. It gives the value of the current, voltage as well as the resistance. So it is one of the most common tool used by the technicians, students and the engineers across the globe to measure the various parameters. Hence, familiarizing the components of the multimeter and how to set up it for various measurements have become inevitable while dealing with an electrical circuit. So, in this lecture we will discuss that what is the need of the multimeter, how we use the multimeter, what are the components in the multimeter, what are the parameters we can measure by using the multimeter. So, a multimeter is used to troubleshoot electrical problems on motors, circuits, power suppliers and switches. So, we can use this multimeter to measure or to just check that the particular electronic device is working or not. So, it is the most common tool used by the technician to troubleshoot the electrical issues. So, a few example we can have, just it is used to test a questionable batteries, like connecting the multimeter leads and measuring the DC voltage across it, quick and efficient way to decide whether it is dead, good or somewhere between it there is a trouble. So, by using this we can just check the any type of battery and the car battery using the multimeter for a step by step guide that we can do. While assembling the different parts of the circuit, it is commonly used just to check that all the wires are working or not, or we are not connecting the wrong wire. So, this multimeter can be used to test the resistance of each one, which helps to distinguish one from the other. So, every wire which we are using in the circuit, we can check by using the multimeter that it is working or not. So, when it is doubt regarding which pin is live while checking the AC outlet, that multimeter can be used to determine the voltage coming out of the point and thereby check it is working or not. While working with the electronic boards that we just use in daily life. So, whenever we working with the electronic board, it is the common to worry if the chip has a overhead or a capacitor is faulty or not working. So, multimeter can be used to check whether the temperature is within the limit or not. Moreover, the coaxial cables which we are using, so it is working or not. If it is a beep sign in a continuous form, then it is working. So, coaxial cable can be checked for their continuity using a multimeter. So, multimeter is a device through which we can check the various parameter of the circuit. So, a multimeter is broadly classified into the two types. One is the analog multimeter and second is the digital multimeter. So, the main difference being their respective display units as we can have. So, analog multimeter have a needle pointer to display reading, Means whenever we just check the multimeter, so it is if we talk about a analog multimeter, so reading we can get the pointer to the pointer. So they are ideal for the application with rapidly changing value as it is shown in the diagram, and more clearly we can take this value. But the analog multimeter is a type of multimeter that works by moving coil to detect the required electrical property. So it has a micrometer present inside of it along with a needle which is capable of calculating the electrical properties which are required to be measured. In a display, the needle moves towards the value which is written to indicate the value. So, the needle is adjusted at the center as well as we get the value, then it will move to right or it will move to the left. So, this device, which is an analog multimeter, is mainly capable of measuring different type of electrical properties by making few changes to it. So, it also provide precise value, but it is very hard to read it. Because of this reason, it is easy to get errors while using it, because alignment with the particular pointer just we have to check precisely. So, that is why it is hard to read. So, the image that shown below depicts the structure of the analog multimeter. So, here we are having you can see on the screen, on the left hand side we are having a analog multimeter, and right hand side where we are getting the value in the form of digits, that is the digital multimeter. So, they both are the different. So, as you are seeing that in the analog multimeter there is a needle which move from right and left whenever we get the reading, but in the digital multimeter just we get the number. So, the digital, so the analog multimeter just give the value, and that having the different type of applications and different type of the disadvantages. Another is a digital multimeter. The digital multimeter output is in the form of the numeric number, and that will display at the display unit. So, this they are more common due to their high precision when compared to their analog counterparts. So, it means it is easy, digital multimeter is easy to use as compared to the analog multimeter. So, a digital multimeter is a type of multimeter which is mostly used to test the different type of electrical equipments. So, it is mainly used in the different kind of industries due to its wide uses. So, they generally have a screen that display the value of the frequency which needs to be measured. Any value means voltage, moreover voltage, resistance and the current. So, it displays the value usually in the decimal form. It provides a more accurate and precise value of the required electrical property. So, it is also capable of giving an automatic range of electrical property. So, that we have shown that this is the digital. On the right hand side we are having a digital multimeter. Moreover, how many types of digital multimeter? There are the various types of digital multimeters. Mainly we define the three types of digital multimeter which are mentioned as well, like first is the clamp multimeter. It is a type of digital multimeter in which the one can only measure the flow of electricity. This is the clamp multimeter where we can measure the flow of electricity. It has a type of clamp feature, and in it, as the name suggests, is like this clamp is capable of measuring the current flow when the two probes get connected to the voltage. Means we can find out the flow of current whenever just we connect the probe Probe means two connectors to the voltage, whereas the electric power can be calculated by using it by multiplying the current flow with the voltage. So, power we can calculate accordingly. So, the image that depicts the clamp multimeter. You are seeing that there is a clamp at the upper hand and the digits you can see at the center 000. So, this is used to measure the current and at a particular voltage. Moreover, another is the fluke multimeter. This is the one of the digital type multimeter, and it has several purposes which consist of a big display, and it is generally used to calculate the voltage as well as the resistance. So, sometimes an advanced version of it is also used to calculate the duty cycle, temperature, humidity, frequency, pressure and many more electric parameters we can measure through this fluke multimeter. Now, this is not used commonly as it has a many features. So, for a particular purpose, for the professional purposes, this device can be used. It is also helps in adjusting the different type of electric parameter, and it is protected by the transient voltage. So, we can see the image of this type of, this is a fluke multimeter. You see that a display is very broad and here we can measure the voltage. Another is the auto ranging multimeter. This type of multimeter, which is a quite simple and expensive compared to the any other type of digital multimeter. As the auto ranging multimeter, we can adjust the value. So, it is mainly used to calculate all the parameters and the properties of the electronic devices. So, it can solve the multiple purpose. So, that can be used for the just to check the multiple features of the electronic circuit. So, that we can use. So, it consists of a knob and its at its middle, which is used to calculate the parameter. Means knob we can adjust for the voltage for as well as for the current, resistance. So, we can move this knob just to adjust at a particular point. So, it is generally used by those who are not professional or the electrician. So, it is capable of calculating the one electrical parameters or parameters at a time. So, the image you can see on the screen, this is used by the professionals. So, by using this you can see that you are electrician in university or in colleges or in any professional institute, they use this type of auto ranging multimeter. So, at the same time they can measure the various parameters by using this multi analog range. This is the auto ranging multimeter. So, now what are the components used in the multimeters? So, you can see on the screen there is a mention A, B, C, D. This is a digital multimeter. So, digital multimeter with its probe means you are having this, just you see probe and the front panel. Probes are mentioned as A. You can see one is the black, one is the red. So, we are having the two probes which are connected with the D connected with the point D, where we have one for the common and other for the value. So, and B and C. So, now what is the B? B you can see it is a display panel. And what is the C? C is the selection knob, and this D is represent the ports. So, we are having a connectors, we are having the connectors means probes, that is the A, and B is the display and C is the selection knob that can be adjusted according to the value which we are going to be measure. And third, and then we are having a port. From this port these two probes are connected. So, the main component of the multimeter we have seen in the diagram, and each of labels we have explained. First is the selection knob. What this selection knob? The knob comes with an arrow pointer, and it is having the two ends with the metallic, and after that there we are using a plastic coverage. So, by choosing the parameter, By choosing the parameter, like we can put it at the voltage, we can put it at the current, we can put it at the resistance. Another is a display panel, which just give the value of a parameter which we are measuring. Like if the display is just like a liquid crystal display, it is a normal display which can show the value up to the 4 digits under the normal circumstances, and also have a provision to display the negative sign. Negative value is also display on the display board. Another is the port. There are the 3 main port. What are these 3 main port which is used accordingly which parameter we are measuring. So, in the front panel of the multimeter, there are the 3 main port. First is the COM, that symbolizes the common. COM means common port, and is usually used to connect the ground or negative part of the circuit. Generally we connect the common port through the ground. Another is the VOMA, which enables the measuring of the voltage and current up to the 200 milliampere and the resistance. So, that 10 ampere is the special port used to measure the large current, typically greater than that of the 200 milliampere. So, another is the probes. Probes, typically the multimeter unit comes with the 2 insulating probes, one is red and one is the black, just to establish the electrical connection between the device under the test and the multimeter. These 2 probes works work as a connector through the device and the multimeter. These multimeter are connected with the ports. So, the plug of the red probe is connected to the VOM port and voltage port, and that of the black probe is connected to the common port, while their lead are connected to the positive and the negative terminal of the devices under the DUT. So, device under test. So, one is connected with the voltage and another is connected with the common, which is a ground. So, other than the color, there is no difference between the red and black probe. Using the multimeter, so the front panel of the multimeter has a various functionality that aid the measurement of the parameter. What parameter? A. First A, you can see left hand side, this part give the value of the DC voltage. Now you come on the B, this part will give the AC voltage value. Means we have to put the probe knob at this point if we are measuring the AC voltage. So, this will give the particular range of the AC voltage. Now, C just give the current, and D give the transistor gain, that is defined by HFE. Another is the temperature, that is defined by the E. F define the continuity check, like if if the wire is damaged, so we will not get the continuous beep. So, if we check the continuity in the wire, so we use this by using this continuity check. Another is the G, that is the resistance, right hand side, that we have the resistance. Then we have H, that is a mounting space for the emitter, base and the collector terminal of a transistors. So, what this symbols means, what do all the symbols on the front of the multimeter means, what we are doing and how we can adjust these and how we can get the value from here. So, you might be confused about all the symbols in front of the multimeter, especially you do not have the words like volt, current, resistance or any, we use the symbols only. So, all the what are the voltage, current, resistance, that we all know. Then we have to select these value in the multimeter. So, some have the units, like voltage have units in the volts, current have a unit in the ampere and the resistance in the ohms. So, which can be represented by the voltage represented by the V, ampere represented by the A, as well as the ohms represented by the symbol ohm. So, most multimeters use these abbreviation instead of writing the full word. So, the multimeter might have some other symbols also, which we will see that what symbol it is having. So, most multimeter also use the metric prefixes. Metric prefix work the same way that the unit of electricity as they do with the other units you might be more familiar, like the distance and the mass. So, for example, if we have a meter is a unit of the distance, kilometer is the 1000 meters, and a millimeter is the 1000th of the meter. So, kilo means 1000 and if we have the millimeter, so 10 power minus 3, the same apply to the milligrams and kilogram of the mass. So, these are the common metric prefix that we can use that we just find on the most of the multimeter. So, we know that micro, that is a 1 millionth, milli, that is a 1000th, right, 10 power minus 3, and micro means 10 power minus 6. So, K is the kilo, that define the 1000 means 10 to the power 3. Now, M, mega, that define the 1 million. So, 10 to the power 6. So, here micro means minus 6, mega means plus 6, milli means minus 3, and kilo means plus 3. So, these metric prefix are used in the same way as for the voltage, ampere and the ohms. For example, if we write the 200 kilo ohm, so it is a 200 kilo ohms. It means we are having a 200 into 10 power 3 ohm, or we can write it as 200 and 30 we can put by this, and that is define the ohms. So, some multimeter are the auto ranging, whereas other requires just to select the particular value manually. So, auto ranging, whenever we put the connection, then automatically it give the value. Otherwise, sometimes we have give the range, that in which range our device is working. So, if we measure the voltage of a battery, so which you can expect that it is a 1.5 volt. So, the multimeter just adjust accordingly, and it has the options there like 200 millivolt, moreover 2 volt, 20 volt and 200 volt, like means there is a range of 200 millivolt to the 600 volt. So, from 200 millivolt is the millivolt is a small, and the 2 volt is a highest value. So, it is adjusted accordingly like how we adjust it. So, all the other options are unnecessarily large and are result a loss in accuracy that we can find out. So, most of the time the value which we are getting through the digital multimeter are in the accurate form. So, what value it is having, the range we have to fix. Sometime auto ranging is adjusted in the multimeter. So, these are the various multimeter you are seeing on the screen, that here there are the two knobs and that are connected and connected to the port, and through this the device is connected. So, these are the multimeter which we use in the laboratories. So, what do the other symbol of the multimeter means, that we will discuss that one by one. That we are having the other symbol like VA omega and VA an ohm, and that metric prefix on the front of the multimeter explains the some value. So, the multimeter having a different value, so we can have the possible values that we can check manually, that what we are having, the various different symbols that are in the that are on the front panel of the multimeter. That symbols we will discuss further. Thank you very much.